So Natlan has been out in Genshin Impact for about a week now, and I wanted to make a first impressions video for you guys on my thoughts on it, if I'm enjoying it, and give you guys a pros and cons list, the things I'm liking and the things I'm not liking or concerned about. I'm hoping that this video can help people make a decision on whether or not they want to come back to playing Genshin Impact that they haven't in a long time, or for new players, and whether or not 5.0 is good or not. Off the bat, man, I'm gonna say it. This is gonna be my hot take. I think Natlan might be my new favorite region. Sumeru and Liyue were like contending for like the first place spot, and maybe it's a honeymoon phase, I don't know, but I love it. I love how vibrant it is. I know a lot of people, there's a controversy behind this. People were hoping for like a war-torn land and, you know, a darker setting, and instead we got this bright, cheerful, colorful place. Personally, I like that. It makes me feel happy. You know, when I play the game, it actually feels good to be around there, and it just feels cheerful. I don't know. I know not everyone's into that, and I respect it, but me personally, I think it's a pro. The colors are just beautiful. The scenery, it's just gorgeous to look at, especially when you first get to Natlan and you get to like this cliffside. The gorgeous scenery that you see, the view, you see the dinosaurs out there and like the trees and the cliffs, and there's just so many cool things to find, like graffiti, NPCs that are hanging around, and the different wildlife. Overall, I just love the vibe of Natlan, and it might become my new favorite region. If I want a dark setting, I'll go back to Inkanomiya, and the last time I was there was like when it first came out. So for me, I think it's gorgeous. I love it. And then my next pro for Natlan and 5.0 is the music. Honestly, I'm gonna say this is not the honeymoon phase talking. I think Natlan's music is the best music that we have gotten in Genshin Impact. I said it. That's my take. I'm gonna stand by that take. Yeah, Hoyo Mix does banger after banger after banger, and we have so many great music. And all the music fits in their regions. But Natlan's music is a whole new level, dude. Every song is a bop. Every time the battle music comes up, oh, dude, I mean, I was playing it on my PlayStation, and if you own a PlayStation, you might know this. Each game has like a song that plays when you're hovering over the game in your menu. I literally was hovering over Genshin Impact on my PlayStation for like an hour, just having the music play in the background while I was doing other stuff. That's how much I like it, dude. And it just fits the setting so well. It is... I'm enjoying it so much, and it makes me feel more engrossed into Natlan and just the vibe of it. It just all comes together, dude. The music is such a banger. I'm gonna admit something. I rarely listen to Genshin Impact music outside of stream, but Natlan music, I'm playing it while I'm doing other stuff. It's that good. Like seriously, I'm not trying to glaze it up. It's that good, in my opinion, of course, but that's a pro for me. Another pro that I have is being able to change into the Saurians, which are the wildlife in Natlan. Some of the dinosaurs. Right now, we can change into 3 of them. The green one, the blue one, and the rock one, the little rock dinosaur. I don't know the exact names of them, okay? Some of them have weird names, but you can change into them, and they all have different special abilities while you traverse the world. You usually use them for puzzles, which I think is a really cool thing that they added to the game, because then it makes the puzzles more fun to do and a little bit different than other regions. And there are some hidden details as well when you change into those animals if you interact with certain NPCs, which I just think is really cool. And they all have their own traversal as well, which help you get around Natlan even better. And speaking of the traversal, that is my next pro, is amazing traversal. Like I said, the Saurians all have their own traversal to help you get around Natlan easier, but in the same time, the Natlan characters have their own traversal mechanics to help you get around Natlan, like Mualani. She literally rides a shark, which I love, by the way. That was like an instant pull for me. I'm a big fan of sharks, so when I saw that, I was like, I need her right now. But she literally uses a shark as a surfboard, and then you just zip around Natlan. And there's a mechanic called Phlogiston in Natlan that's only for Natlan characters, which help you get around even easier. And it's just so fun to zip around, especially with Mualani, which, spoiler alert, that will be a con later on. But going around as her, and in the future, Kinish, he's literally Spider-Man, and how he swings around, like that is insane. And then we got Kachina, who drives a little drill, and then you can climb up walls with her. Like, they knocked it out of the park with traversal, and it's just such a fun addition to the game. And I feel like every single map update that we get and every .0 patch that we get we get some sort of new traversal mechanic. Like Fontaine was swimming underwater and stuff, and to Meru we had the ability to zip around to like different waypoints and stuff. And now we have the phlogiston and characters being able to ride sharks and little drills and swing around. Like, makes me kind of excited to see what future characters we're gonna get and how they traverse the land. And before we continue with the video, I just want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN enables users worldwide to protect their privacy and security online with just a few clicks. The company's top-rated apps for Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, and Linux routers identifies with best in-class encryption and leak proofing. Connect reliably from anywhere to anywhere. Phone, tablet, computer, router, no matter where you are or what device you're using, a single ExpressVPN subscription has got you covered. ExpressVPN has a network of high-speed servers across 105 countries and provides a fast connection, offering uncensored access to sites and services from across the globe. Funny enough, I already have an ExpressVPN subscription because when I went to Japan a couple months ago and Germany literally like 2 days ago, I used them so I can log into my YouTube channel because YouTube realized that I wasn't home and it was locking me out of my account. So then I turned on ExpressVPN and I was able to log in because then they thought I was at home. So legit, it has saved me so much so I can upload videos like this or my YouTube shorts for you guys. Or I've even used it a couple times while playing video games like Overwatch. Overwatch allows you to switch between regions in America, Europe, and Asia, but not specific servers within those regions. But ExpressVPN allows you to pick specific servers within those regions, which can then help you get lower queue times in servers that have less players. Or if you live in the East Coast but you want to play with people in the West Coast, ExpressVPN helps with that as well. And it works in a bunch of different games too, but primarily I use it for Overwatch. ExpressVPN is also really cool because if you're on an unprotected and unsecured Wi-Fi, like McDonald's Wi-Fi or whatever, if you use ExpressVPN, it'll help protect you on those unsecured and unprotected Wi-Fi networks. And if you're just someone who wants to just stay anonymous or as anonymous as possible online, ExpressVPN will help you do that too. And it'll also hide your online activity from internet service providers. Without a VPN, your ISP can see your entire browsing history. And in the US, they're even legally allowed to sell it. ExpressVPN gives you that privacy back. So if you think you need ExpressVPN, which I would highly recommend, I have a link in my description below. Just click that link or go to expressvpn.com/Doro44 and get 3 extra free months on me. Thank you ExpressVPN for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. Another pro. I have cons. Don't worry. I'm not just gonna be glazing it up. But the Archon quest, dude, I think it was so good. We only got Act 1 and Act 2 right now, which is good. I don't want to get too much, in the beginning. I wanted to go on for a bit, but I thought it was a solid first introduction to Natlan, the cool characters that you get to meet, and the story, it was awesome. Like, they dropped some really cool lore and some bombshells. I was just like, what? And I mean, you've probably seen this in the trailers, but Capitano. I've been waiting for him for so long. You have no idea. I love his design. I just love him. There's some cool moments in the story. I will not spoil it. I do have my story uploaded onto YouTube if you want to go watch my playthrough of that. I like it a lot. I'm excited to see what is next for it though, because it's very set up for Natlan. But there's even some really cool mechanics that they do within the story that are different. Like some of the boss fights I thought were done very well. They weren't too easy. You didn't kill the boss in like 2 seconds. There was like cool mechanics. But so far, it's a great start to Natlan's Archon quest. And I mentioned cool characters. You meet a lot of cool characters in Natlan, and that's my next pro. The Pyro Archon is so far, I know this is a lot to say for it just coming out, but I can see her becoming one of my new favorite Archons. Nahida currently is my favorite Archon. Farina's story was amazing, but Mavuika, I think that's how you say it. I can't spoil it for you because if you haven't done the Archon quest, just know I like her personality a lot. The way she leads Natlan, I'm a fan of. She's definitely a leader by example and not just telling people what to do. She can relate to her people. That's what I like about her a lot. Mualani, adorable. I love her. She's very bubbly and full of energy. She's great. Kanish is really cool too. Kachina is super sweet and cute, and I love her. And all the NPCs that we've met so far, I love all the designs. I think they did a great job with them. They just feel like they fit Natlan. The only thing I will say is I'm hoping for more diversity in the playable characters, but we'll have to wait and see what Hoyo does with that. But overall, all the character designs I think are great and just fit the feel of Natlan. Now, if you watch the 5.0 live stream, which I also reacted to, they added a ton, and I mean a ton of amazing quality of life updates. So here are a few pros and a few of them that really are important to me and stand out to me. We have a new wishing system. Now, it's not completely different, but it's a step in the right direction. They've gotten rid of one of the fate points on the weapon banner. So now it's only one fate point. Thank God. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the fate point system, and I always said that the weapon banner is a scam because the fate points, you lose a couple times and now you have 2 fate points, but they won't transfer over to the next weapon banner. So you just kind of like, I have to do it or it's like a waste. So now it's pretty much just like losing a 50-50 in a sense. Not as good as Weathering Waves, where, you know, their weapon banners, you just get that weapon at whatever pity, and you really can't lose it. That's like the best case scenario, but I guess Hoyo has to make their money, right? But then this is the big one. With the limited banners, if you're on a 50-50 and you lose that 50-50, there is a slight chance, and I've only gotten this once, there's a slight chance that you'll see the gold change into like a fate, which then means you've won your 50-50. And I think it's like a 55-45 chance now. It's a very small percentage that you can get that, but hey, you know what? I think it's a cool addition. I got it, and I was able to get C2 Mualani that way. So yeah, now you have a little bit of a better chance to win your 50-50s. Now, another con, don't worry, we're getting through the list, but another con is the ability to make good artifacts now. Now, if you've been playing Genshin for a while, or even if you're new, you might have realized that artifact farming sucks ass in this game, bro. Like when I first started this game, I guess there wasn't that many artifacts to get, so my luck was a lot better. But now I even tell people, don't even farm the new artifact sets, just use an old one or share them with your characters. But now they've given us the ability to create our own artifact. You can get the main stat and then the substats as well. But there is a catch to it. You can't just do this every single day. The way you do it is you have to have a special material that the game gives you either through the battle pass or finding them out in the wild or sometimes in your mail. And you use that to then create the artifact. And I think the goblet might be the most expensive one. You have to use 4 of these things. And I'm telling you, they are rare to get. I think you only get a few every patch. So it's not like you can just create godlike artifacts every day. But the option is there, and I think it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. It's a step in the right direction, and I'm a fan of that. You can also feed your old artifacts to get those things, but it's very expensive to do. Nonetheless, I'm glad that they added this feature into the game. Now, another big pro in my opinion is now they've added more ways to earn Primo Gems, which, if you do the Archon quest, you get extra Primo Gems. I think it's like 500 or something just for doing the Archon quest, which I think is great. The anniversary, we're getting more Primo Gems as well. And I think they even said that you get more from opening up chests as well now. They're adding more ways to earn more rewards and more Primo Gems, which thank God, dude. I think Hoyo has enough money. They can do it, you know, do it for your fans, do it for the people that play the game, you know. F2P players deserve it. And I mentioned anniversary rewards. This next pro goes along with that. They announced this, and this was such a huge announcement. It was a long time coming, but every Genshin anniversary now, going forward, every year, we will get a free 5-star selector for the 5 stars that are on the standard banner. Yes, it's real, not fake. You're able to just pick one from the standard banner. That happens once a year on the anniversaries now. So I personally got my C6 Dea finally. I can tell you right now, she just hits a little bit better. Was it worth it? I don't know. I'm happy, but I'm glad that they added this to the game. It's been a long time coming. So many other gacha games already do this. Thank you, Genshin. Thank you for allowing us to finally get a free 5-star. Now, if you're gonna ask me, this is a side note, who you should go for, Tighnari. There's your answer. Get Tighnari. He's really good. Or whoever you want. I don't care, but Tighnari. Now, we're almost done with the pros, okay? And I can honestly keep listing off pros for you, but I don't want to make this video 3 hours long. So got 3 more for you. A new interactive map. Now, if you're a Genshin player, you know what the interactive map is, right? It's a website. You go to it. It tells you exactly the locations of everything that you can find in the game, especially for the people who want to 100% their map. Now, there's a new feature. If you need the specialty flowers to level up your characters, you can literally click that, and then you can click on go to collect, and then it'll tell you in game with a blue circle where these flowers are. And it makes farming for your characters so much easier. Yeah, you can open up the interactive map on like your phone or your iPad or your computer or whatever, but having it built into the game now, I think helps a ton. And personally, I like that. It's to some people, it might seem like a very small change, but to me, I think it's huge, especially for someone who likes to build their characters. It just makes the process go by faster. Now, these next 2 things are for players that like harder content, like myself. There's a new difficulty added to the Imaginarium Theater called Visionary Mode, which just makes it harder for you. But in turn, if you're able to get get through it, you do get more Primo Gems at the end of it. So it's a win-win. Harder content, more rewards for the people who like to play the Imaginarium Theater. And then on top of that, more local legends to fight. They introduced that really in Fontaine, I think. Local legends, you find them around the map and they're just super hard. Like they have like 10 million HP for some reason. And it's like an added challenge to the overworld. By the way, speaking of overworld, hold on, my ADHD's flying around. They added world level 9. So for people who want that, you now have world level 9. So you get more rewards and more drops by doing that and harder enemies to fight. But going back to the local legends, I like that they added that to the game because now it just adds harder enemies out in the overworld for people who want that content, like myself. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Fontaine ones I thought were hard. No. Natlan, there's literally a twerking capybara. That's all I'm gonna say. It's awful in a good way, but it's awful. It's scary. So yeah, but for people who like harder content, they've added that. And I hope they add more. So those are all the pros that I wrote down. There are more that I would love to just rant and talk about for hours, but I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. So let's talk about some of the cons and some things that I'm a little worried about with Natlan and going forward. Off the rip, I've heard this a lot from people and I've noticed this too. The initial map size is not as big as other regions when they first launched. Now, it's not a huge thing, but it is a con. It's not as big as the other ones. We'll obviously get more map expansions. There is an underground layer to it as well. Now, I know to some people that has been a con. They've been complaining about that, saying, why isn't this big? Why isn't this big? I don't know. In my opinion, it's still fun to explore. A lot of cool things to find, a lot of cool things to do, but that's my first con. My next con, and this is, I guess, kind of nitpicking. They did say that there were going to be better graphics in Natlan, and I haven't really noticed that. It still looks the same to me. Like very rarely, I don't know, maybe this is a placebo effect, but sometimes it does feel like the graphics might be a little bit better. I play on PC at like max settings at 4K, right? And my monitor is an OLED monitor, so it's always looked good to me, but I don't really see a big difference. I guess that's not really a con, it's more of a nitpick, but I thought I'd mention it because the people who maybe were like hoping for like big, huge Unreal Engine 5 graphics, yeah, it's not happening. Still looks like Genshin Impact. I still like the art style and the way it looks, but yeah, the graphics, they just look the same to me. But now this next con, it worries me a little bit. Let me explain. So you know how I said earlier how the traversal in Natlan is amazing and how Mualani moves around and Kinich is going to be able to move around. As fun as it is, on the flip side, it is kind of a con in my opinion because it creates FOMO for players. And if you don't know what FOMO means, it means fear of missing out. Being able to traverse Natlan on a shark or swinging around like Spider-Man looks so cool. And then it makes you think, oh, I probably need to pull that character then just for that. And it kind of forces people in a sense to pull the character, even if maybe they don't want them, just for that. I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like that's gonna be a thing going forward with all the Natlan characters. Like they're gonna all have some special mechanic on how they get around. And that might create FOMO in some people or kind of make people feel like they need to pull that character when in reality, you really don't. I'm gonna answer the question right now. It's like I keep getting this question a lot. Should I pull Mualani? Is she a must pull? In my opinion, no, I don't think she's a must pull. Do I think she's fun? Personally, yes, I do like her playstyle and her traversal is super fun. Oh my God, I love it. I don't know what I'd do without it, but I don't think she's a must pull. And obviously not everyone spends money in this game. People save their Primo Gems that they work hard for the characters that they really want, as they should. But it kind of sucks that like, okay, I don't want Mualani, but I want to be able to traverse Natlan a lot easier. Well, you need Mualani for that, right? So I don't know how I feel about that. That kind of worries me. Doro's here to tell you at the end of the day, as fun as Mualani is to traverse, and Kinich is probably going to be as well, still pull for the characters that you want and don't spend money that you don't have, please. Now, going off of the traversal stuff, another thing is Saurians can't run, and sometimes their traversal kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. Sometimes it's a little buggy, specifically the green one. I forget, it's like Yaman something. I don't know. The green dinosaur, how it uses like its tongue to zip around and it creates platforms. Sometimes it doesn't even create the platforms for me. So I don't know if that's like a glitch or something. Maybe they need to fix that, but it's a little clunky, which then I guess kind of creates that FOMO again. They're like, oh, well then just pull Mualani. But yeah, they're fun to use in puzzles. That's about it. Other than that, I don't want to use them. World level 9 doesn't seem that hard. Yes, we get more rewards, which is great, and more drops. You would think that the enemies would get a lot harder, and well, they really don't, in my opinion. So that's kind of a bummer. You know, I'd like it to be like really challenging. Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, at least I have the local legends to fight, right? Now, I also mentioned this earlier, but I will mention it again as a con. The build your artifact thing that's been added to the game. I did say it was a pro, that it was added and that option is there, but the con is that the stuff, the material that you need to do it is so rare. It's just like, that kind of sucks. You know, I wish they were a little bit more generous with the materials that you need in order to do it, because artifact farming is ass in Genshin. And I do like artifact farming, but it's gotten to a point now where I literally get nothing. And then the strong box gives me nothing too. It's to the point where I tell people, just don't even do it. Just share your artifacts with other people and, you know, use old sets, right? I'm running Heart of Depth on my Mualani and she's still hitting like a truck. I feel no need to get the new one. I think it's called Obsidian Codex. I feel no need to waste my resin on that. So yeah, I just wish that the material that you need for it was more generous and you had more. And then my last con, which I guess this is like a nitpick thing. The new Archon quest giving you 500, I think, Primo Gems for completing it on top of all the other Primo Gems and stuff, kind of encourages players to skip the Archon quest just to get to it, just to collect the rewards. Now, I know there's players that just care about the rewards, and I get that. You at least have to complete the Leeway Archon quest, and then you can skip everything else, like Sumeru and Fontaine, to get to Natlan. I think that's a con. I think that's a stupid decision. I would not do that if I were you. Now, I get it. There are players that don't give a shit about the story, but what makes Genshin Impact special to me is the story that it tells, and the world building, and the character building. I love that. That, for me personally, that's what makes this game so special. If you just focus on like the building, characters, and kind of exploration, like you're missing out on a huge chunk on what makes this game special, in my opinion. Dude, I could never imagine telling someone to skip Sumeru and Fontaine, especially. Like those Archon quests, like that is insane to me. Do Sumeru, do Fontaine, do everything in order. The Primo Gems will be there, I think, at least in my opinion. But those are pretty much all the cons that I wrote down. There aren't that many, to be honest with you. And I think that's a good thing. From the 5.0 live stream, I know so many people were hyped about it, and me and myself included. They're doing a lot of great things finally in Genshin, and they're really listening to the player feedback, it feels like, finally. Adding quality of life updates that we really want. Natlan has been a banger, in my opinion. I've been enjoying it so much. Everything about it, dude. I get so excited to boot up Genshin for stream and to play it and to just go at it. It's so cool, man. It's definitely my new favorite region. The best way I can put it is this. People ask me, what is your favorite memory of Genshin? And it was when I first stepped into Sumeru and just like the greenery and, you know, the new world. It was so cool. That's how I feel with Natlan. I feel that magic again. You know, I love it. So it's been a banger. They've been doing a lot of great stuff. It just feels good to play. It's fun to play. Characters are awesome. New mechanics are great. Quality of life updates. Yeah, it's not perfect, but they definitely knocked it out of the park, and I'm excited to see what is next for Natlan. And I'm just truly excited. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed my video and what some of your pros and cons are of Natlan. Are you enjoying it? Are you not? I want to read your comments and have some discussions with you, okay? Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys. And I wanted to say this as well. Thank you guys so much for the 700,000 subscribers that we just hit on YouTube. I remember when I had 12 subscribers on this channel. Legit. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for everything and for supporting me and for watching the videos and enjoying them, because I make this content for you guys. As long as you guys enjoy my content, I'm doing my job right. So thank you guys so much for that. I'll catch you guys at the next one.